Hey, Bill, any words?
A lack of real planning. He should have had a tune-up fight first and then go into a fight with a guy like Romero. But, you know, these fighters and the promoters get turned by the money.
Which means they were trying all that they could to give Ryan the fight, but Ryan tried so little, threw barely any punches, that they couldn't even rob Rolly. But you could see they were trying to rob Rolly.
Bill Haney couldn't contain his laughter during a live interview when asked about Ryan Garcia's shocking loss to Rolando Rolly Romero. The outspoken father of Devin Haney later took to Twitter, trolling Ryan and his team with a biting message. Congratulations to Devin, Rolly, and Teo for an iconic night of boxing. 3-0, the tweet quickly stirred up buzz across social media, as fans interpreted it as a direct shot at Ryan Garcia and his promoter, Oscar de la Hoya. Many were left scratching their heads, especially after de la Hoya's decision to match a reportedly clean, off-PDS Ryan against Romero, but I'm still extremely puzzled how Ryan hasn't fired de la Hoya for putting him in that position. One fan posted, echoing growing frustration with Golden Boy Promotions' TO add fuel to the fire. Devin Haney and Bill Haney were caught on camera laughing at Ryan's performance post-fight, making it clear they weren't holding back any of their thoughts.
Right here. Hey, Ryan, they canceled the face-off. They canceled the face-off.
Bob Arum criticized Ryan Garcia's decision to face Rolly Romero right after a long layoff, saying Garcia should have taken a tune-up fight first. According to Arum, fighters like Ryan and their promoters often prioritize chasing big paydays over making smart career moves, which can result in lackluster performances in the ring.
A lack of real planning. He should have had a tune-up fight first and then go into a fight with a guy like Romero. But, you know, these fighters and the promoters get turned by the money, and they don't make really good decisions. A good decision would have been to take a tune-up fight and then, you know, then you move to a Romero or even a Haney or so forth. You don't go right in after a year. You know, look at Haney. Haney looked terrible with Ramirez because he hadn't fought in a year.
Following Ryan Garcia's stunning loss to Rolly Romero, boxing legend Mike Tyson sat alongside Derek Chisora as they watched and reacted to the fight. Chisora didn't hold back in his assessment, bluntly stating that Ryan looked like he hadn't been training at all.
We are live! Derek Chisora.
What's up, motherfuckers?
What did you think of that? You and Arum, Mike, on the tear-up?
Great show.
Mike, what did you make of it tonight?
Great night.
I think of Ryan losing, Mike. What did you think of Ryan losing?
Yeah, you know what? To me, yeah, Ralph, it didn't look like he was training. Ryan didn't train for that fight.
You don't think so? Why?
I don't think so. Ryan didn't train. He didn't train for that fight.
No, what did you think of Devin, out of curiosity?
Devin boxing unbelievable, bro.
You have to give Rolly the credit though for the round.
Boxing unbelievable.
You have to give Rolly the credit, don't you, Derek? Don't you?
Fuck you guys.
In a surprising twist that quickly went viral on social media, Terrence Crawford revealed, "I told Shakur Stevenson before the fight that Rolly was going to win." Coming from one of boxing's most respected figures, the statement added legitimacy to Rolly Romero's victory. Meanwhile, following Ryan Garcia's lackluster performance, fans and commentators began addressing what was once only whispered. The speculation that Garcia may have used performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, in his win over Devin Haney. Now, with Garcia appearing flat and ineffective in a fight presumed to be clean, critics argue the truth has become much harder to ignore.
Devin Haney, I thought it was a little bit of PTSD, you know, with after the Ryan Garcia fight last year, you know, the whole steroids thing with Ryan Garcia and taking the big shots he took. Very, very safety first fight. If I have to compare it, I know you guys, some of you guys don't like it, then I compare myself to my style with Devin Haney, my boxing style with Devin Haney. I think we're very similar as fighters, except I had bad hands. He didn't. From there, you know, you get that. with Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, first of all, congrats to Rolly Romero because he was coming in with no momentum. I mean, he had lost the Pitbull Cruise. He'd won the title at 140 against Ismael Barroso in a very controversial fashion when Tony Weeks stopped that fight too early in his favor. So, you know, Romero had been coming in with no momentum really, and he was chosen sort of as sort of a dead duck, sacrificial lamb for Ryan's return, you know? There was that footage online, though, with that sparring, and there was a little bit of footage there, and it gave you a little bit of curiosity, right? But you're thinking, all right, you know, that was many years ago, who knows what happens now. I tell you what, there must be some PTSD there as well, because once Rolly dropped Ryan stopped trying. Ryan stopped trying, and that's the biggest criticism there. It's, are you a Hollywood fighter? You know, why didn't you even go for it? Because at the end of the fight, although the fight was very one-sided, two schmuck judges actually had the fight within 3 points for Ryan Garcia, 115-112 for Rolly, which means they were trying all that they could to give Ryan the fight, but Ryan tried so little, threw barely any punches, that they couldn't even rob Rolly. But you could see they were trying to rob Rolly, and that's disgusting.
British welterweight contender Conor Benn weighed in after the fight, voicing his disappointment with Ryan Garcia's performance. Benn called it very disappointing and said he'd be interested in seeing a rematch between Garcia and Devin Haney, hinting that it could help settle lingering questions about both fighters.
What did you make of it?
That was a very disappointing performance. Yeah, it was terrible.
You still want to get in there with him next though?
Nah, thank you. Not interested. Thank you.
What's the conversations been like about the rematch, Paul?
Huh?
What's the conversations been about the rematch with Turkey?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's locked in for September. So,
how have you found this whole new, like, your stocks rose, obviously a lot of people
yeah,
over
I
here
mean,
are
listen,
interested.
it's all just noise, you know. One day they love you, next they hate you, then they love you again, you know. So I just want to get back in there and secure the W. That's all about it.
When you had that moment with Terence Crawford, what did he say to you?
I can't remember. I've had a few.
Topro Lopez shifted the spotlight from Ryan Garcia's failure to Rolly Romero's success, praising Romero for staying disciplined, listening to his corner, and sticking to the game plan. According to Lopez, Rolly fought smart and kept his emotions in check. He did well, Lopez said, adding that he was genuinely happy to see Romero come out with the win.
You know, in the main event,
Absolutely.
Rolly pulled it off. He said he would. He said, you know, people would be surprised, but he knew what he was going to do. What do you think about his performance?
No, I'm very happy for Rolly. You know, sad short shot for Ryan Garcia, but hey, look, you know, don't overlook anybody. And you know, I think Rolly had a great game plan. He listened to his team very well. You know, and before he went to the event, my father told him, just keep your right hand up the whole night. You know, and that's it. You'll win the fight, and he did that. He looked great.
You saw what Devin did in the other fight on the.
When asked about the Garcia versus Romero fight, Floyd Mayweather Sr., known for his blunt opinions and sharp boxing insight, chose to stay completely silent. His refusal to comment spoke volumes, and the silence quickly became a talking point of its own.
Your thoughts on Rolly Romero beating Ryan Garcia?
Oh, pretty good.
Do you think that the decision was right? Rolly Romero, the win.
Pop was into the fight. Low action.
Well, that's what he thinks about that fight. It put him to sleep.
After the fight, Ryan Garcia broke his silence with a brief but emotional message. "I'm really disappointed in the way I fought tonight. It was a bad night for me," he admitted. The statement was honest and straightforward, acknowledging his poor performance without making excuses. Still, for many fans and observers, it wasn't enough to make up for what they saw as a lack of heart and effort in the ring. Garcia's own words made it clear. He knew just how much he had let himself and his supporters down.
Obviously, it wasn't a good night for me. It's a pretty off night. You know, Rolly did what he does. You know, does a lot of good power shots, caught me in the second round. But just even in the start of the fight, it just didn't feel like my feet were under me, like I had anything. But you know, I tried to fight through it, and just found myself very off after the year layoff. You know, that whole year, you know, it was a lot for me, mentally, as you guys know. So the fact that I got here and I'm in the position I am, my mind is as clear as it is a victory for me, I would say. But I'm extremely disappointed in the way I fought.
Former heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs didn't hold back his thoughts on the event, bluntly calling all the fights on the card horrible. He was especially critical of Ryan Garcia's performance, saying, "Ryan's fight was horrible. No punches, no trying, nothing." Briggs' harsh words echoed the frustration many fans felt watching the bout.
Yeah, it was, the fight was long, no knockouts. They were scared to fight. Everybody was scared. They need punches. They need punches. Turkey needs punches. These ain't nothing. They wasted a lot of time coming in New York just to play around in the street.
What do you make of Ryan Garcia?
They all are horrible. All of them suck. The whole card. All of them can't fight. Everybody was scared of each other. Everybody was.
Ryan Garcia faced intense criticism online after his loss, with many fans and commentators questioning his previous performances. The boxing page Happy Punch tweeted, "Ryan Garcia beat by Rolly. I guess we saw what he looked like without PEDs tonight." The comment was sharp, yet it reflected the belief held by many that Garcia's explosive rise could have been aided by substances, with this loss exposing his true form. Social media was flooded with memes, harsh takes, and growing skepticism toward Garcia's past performances. As the emotional weight of the defeat sank in, a video surfaced showing Ryan Garcia crying in a car after the fight. The clip, shared by user the 505 Way with the caption, "Ryan Garcia crying in the car after his loss to Rolly Romero," quickly went viral, highlighting how deeply the loss had impacted him personally. Promoter Eddie Hearn also weighed in after witnessing Ryan Garcia's collapse, suggesting that there might be something deeper going on with the young fighter. "It's really something bad going to happen. He needs help," Hearns said. His comments went beyond boxing technique, expressing concern for Garcia's mental and emotional well-being, rather than just his performance in the ring.
I mean, I saw some stuff tonight. I can't believe what I'm seeing. What the f***? Honestly, something bad is going to happen if someone don't get hold of Ryan Garcia. I keep saying it. And, you know, you may play these clips back when something bad happens. Like, it's just a car crash. He just needs help. He needs help real bad. I hope he can get it.
Despite the backlash, Oscar de la Hoya took a more supportive stance, dismissing the idea that the loss was devastating. "Ryan knows what he has to do," de la Hoya said, showing confidence in his fighter's ability to bounce back. He also added that a rematch with Devin Haney wasn't off the table, stating that it would definitely happen in the future.
How do you think Ryan looked out there, man?
Little gun shy, you know, that year off.
What do you
All
think?
that power from Rollies, but he'll be back to the drawing board, and you know,
How devastating?
he'll live to see another day. That's it.
How devastating of a loss is this for Ryan, man?
Not devastating at all. Win 12 rounds. He knows he's way better than that. He knows what he has to do. So.
Do you think the Devin Haney fight probably off the table? Do you think that, or?
It'll be back.
How do you?
It has to happen.
How do you think Devin looked out there, man?
Gun shy.
Following his victory, Rolly Romero felt vindicated, saying, "Everyone was underestimating me." Romero pointed out that Garcia only opened up once throughout the entire fight, suggesting he didn't have to adjust his game plan much to control the bout. Romero's comments underscored the one-sided nature of the fight and the lack of resistance he faced from someone who had once been considered an elite-level threat in the division.
You know, he's strong, he has good left hook, you know, and one time he opened up, I cracked him and he didn't open up at all the rest of the fight. They're always going to underrate me because I'm not one of these prospects that started boxing and had a following, except they're fresh out the amateurs, they promoted them like, oh, this is the next big thing, yada, 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 all that stuff. At the end of it, I've done this 3 times. Three different divisions. I'm a 3-time world champion, and this might actually be the biggest I think the most entertaining fight card in boxing history.
The fight, held in Times Square and promoted as a historic event, turned out to be one of the most underwhelming matchups in recent memory. Fans who had expected drama and excitement were left frustrated by the lifeless pace, with the bout failing to deliver the fireworks many had hoped for.
The three biggest takeaways from Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, and yes, I'll break down the other fights on this card too. But my God, what an underwhelming night of boxing! Times Square was underwhelming, the fights were sure as hell underwhelming, but let's get through this review, shall we? Number 1, Rolly Romero defeats Ryan Garcia via unanimous decision. And just like that, one of the biggest boxing fights of the year, Haney versus Garcia 2, has lost all of its luster. So there wasn't that much action in this fight besides Ryan getting dropped in round 2. I think by a similar shot I saw in their sparring video from 8 years ago. But the second round Rolly had set the tone for the rest of the fight. Ryan couldn't get much offense off at all for 12 rounds. And for the first 8 rounds, there were a lot of rounds where I was like, I don't think either guy did enough to win that one. But in rounds 9 through 12, I thought Rolly had the far more aggressive moments, and he clearly took those final 4 rounds for me. At the end of the day, this was an awful main event, but it looks like Hagler versus Hearns in comparison to the next fight we'll discuss. And that's number 2. Devin Haney was at his all-time worst tonight. It looked like he was still recovering from the Ryan Garcia beatdown last year.
Another point of criticism came from fans who felt that even the judges were trying to save Garcia. However, as many pointed out, Garcia's lack of effort made it impossible to justify handing him a win. By contrast, Rolly Romero was sharp, tactical, and relentless, masterclassing Garcia in a way that silenced any narrative about luck or flukes. Romero's dominant performance left no doubt about who deserved the victory.
Words. We're on stream, by the way. Join in. Ryan Garcia is absolutely masterclassed by Rolly Romero. Absolutely obliterated on the score on my scorecards. Now, two judges tried to rob Rolly. 2 judges scored at 7-5. Do not let these judges confuse you, people. Do not let these the punch stats confuse you. This was a 9-3, 8-4 fight. Ryan Garcia looked terrible. Rolly Romero put on a flawless performance. I am in absolute awe. I cannot believe what we just witnessed. Rolly Romero put on a better performance than Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. Wow. This is supposed to be the easiest fight on this card. By far, it's supposed to be the easiest fight. And I mean, it was. Rolly made this the easiest performance of the night. This is a shocker. Y'all gotta please help me. Please let me. I cannot fathom this quite.
Interestingly, during the fight, fellow boxer Shakur Stevenson could be seen shouting advice to Ryan Garcia from ringside, sitting next to Mike Tyson. Shakur repeatedly urged Garcia to keep your hands up, clearly concerned about Garcia's lack of defense. The moment was both surreal and telling. Other fighters felt the need to coach Garcia in real time, which highlighted just how unprepared he seemed in the ring.
Hey, Ryan, keep your hands up, Ryan!
Good job, baby. Then you got there. The double up. Straight up in the air. Rolando
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas summed up Ryan Garcia's career arc with brutal honesty, saying he keeps getting in these fights, but he loses the big ones. The comment resonated with many who feel that Garcia's career so far has been more about style than substance. Despite the fame, followers, and lucrative promotional deals, the big moments continue to slip away from him.
Buddy, he keeps getting these fights. He loses the big ones, and he gives his all. I'm not knocking him. but he loses the big ones, and then he comes up and gets a big fight where obviously it passes somebody else up on a line that probably thinks, hey, wait a minute, I've been winning. I've been winning over here, and I'm not getting this shot. This guy loses when he gets them, and he gets another one. Like, what the, like, what the heck? I can't just definitively say no, not because of Romero, but because of Ryan. My only question is, has he found himself? And it's not physical. It's not physical at all. At all. I have no doubts he's good physically. Has he found himself mentally? If he has, and I'm going to venture to say yes, he has. But if he has, then he wins this fight.
Blair Cobbs, never one to shy away from dramatic takes, expressed disbelief at how Ryan Garcia got outboxed by Rolly Romero, calling it very strange and even funny. Cobbs, who has long been vocal about the sport, showed genuine shock at how Garcia, a supposed top-tier talent, could look so lost in the ring. His remarks added yet another layer to the mounting criticism, with many now calling it the most embarrassing night of Garcia's career.
How do you get outboxed and outpointed by Rolly? That's strange. Very strange. Sounds like you guys need good old Blair. Yeah. This shit is funny. Devin did a horrible job. Oh my god. He looked like the biggest pussy in boxing. That was wild.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.